In this clip, we're going to go over some of the Windows 10 privacy settings. So this is something that you will normally set up when you initially set up your Windows 10 device, and it's something that you also can change anytime by going to the settings and the privacy. So in order to access the privacy settings on Windows 10, what you need to do is click Start, click Settings, click the privacy, and here you have 4 options on the left panel. So you have the general option, which has 4 sub options. You have speech, you have inking and typing, personalization, diagnostic and feedback, and activity history. So we're going to quickly go over each of these. So the first one is under the general option, we have 4 sub options that we can turn on or off. The first one says let apps use advertising ID to make ads more interesting to you based on your app activity. Turning this off will reset your ID. So Microsoft generates a unique ID for each user on Windows 10 device, and that unique ID identifies you to the device, and for the purpose of the app developers and ad networks presenting you to a relevant content to you based on your Windows 10 usage. So that's something that you might want to turn off if you don't like ad networks identifying you to your device. The next one is let websites provide locally relevant content by accessing my language list. So this allows the websites to access your language settings, your operating system language settings, for you to present the content that's relevant to your language. The next one says let Windows track app launch to improve the start and search result. So whenever you launch an app or open an app, Microsoft tracks what that app is, and it adds to your most used apps, and also it adds your not only that, but also adds to your search result. So it customizes your search result and your start menu based on your operating system usage and what apps that you open more often or use more often. The next one shows show me suggested content in a settings app. So that allows the operating system to suggest the content under your settings. So that's something that you might have to consider turning that off. And basically what that says is Microsoft can offer you suggestions throughout the settings. This content comes in variety of forms and can help you discover new features within settings or suggest the new content and apps you might find interesting. So it basically monitors what you're using more often and gives you more of the things that you use more often. So those are the 4 options under the general settings. So this is something that you might want to turn off if you use a computer that's used by multiple users with the same login, so each individual does not see the content of the other person. So let's move to the next one, which is the speech. So this option, it gives you the speech recognition option. You can either turn it off or on. There's only one option. If you use Cortana or a dictation, you will have to keep it on, or the Cortana will not work, because it is a cloud-based voice recognition. That's what Cortana is. It's on the cloud. So whenever you speak to Cortana, you're communicating outside of your computer. And if you turn this off, then you don't have that option. And it comes with its privacy issue. So if you're thinking you're talking to your computer, you're talking more than your computer. And Microsoft is using this voice recognition to improve their services. So they do monitor, or the system monitors how that service is performing. So that's something that you'll have to consider. It's have the information how that works and what it does, and decide if you want to turn it off or keep it on. The next one is inking and typing personalization. So this is just one option that you can turn it on or off. If you turn this on, it will collect typing data and create a local dictionary that makes better suggestion for you when typing words. So it does take things that you type more often and creates a local dictionary for you, and that includes things that are unique to you. For example, the names that you type more often and the words that you use more often. So it's something that is useful that you might wanna keep this one on because it's locally to your system, and I think it's helpful. The next privacy setting to look at is the diagnostic and feedback. This one does not let you disable it. It gives you two options. You can either choose choose the basic diagnostic or the full diagnostic. So the basic is it sends your device its settings, capabilities, and whether it's performing properly or not. So that's the very basic one. That's the minimum that you can send to Microsoft, or Microsoft allows you. That's the minimum you can choose. You can also change it to full, which sends the diagnostic data along with information about websites you browse, how you use apps or apps that you use, features, plus additional info about device health, device activity, enhanced error reporting. So there's a lot more to this one. That's something that you might not want to turn on because you don't want to send all that information to Microsoft, or there's no reason for it. The basic is what it should be. And if you choose to do the full diagnostic, then it gives you an option also to turn on, which also sends your inking and typing data. So whatever you type, it comes part of that diagnostic data. So let's go back and choose the basic diagnostic data. And the next option there is the tailored if you turn that on, Microsoft will collect your diagnostic data and will present you personalized tips and ads and recommendations that will help you enhance your computer usage. So it will collect all your diagnostic data based on what you set it up, and then gives you recommendations and tips and ads. So the next one is View Diagnostic Data. This one is an app that you can install on your Windows device to view your diagnostic data. So if I click here, it gives me an option to install that app and view what my diagnostic data look like. And then the next one is an option for you to delete the content of your diagnostic data. So you can delete that by clicking the delete button. And then here, the next option there is the feedback frequency. So Windows will ask for my feedback. So that's what it is when you use a Microsoft product, a pop-up window will come up at random times to ask for your feedback. And you can control this by basically selecting one of these four options. You can leave it as the recommended, which is the randomized time, or always set it to always. So whenever you use a Microsoft product, that feedback is gonna come up. Or you can choose once a day or once a week or never. So that's something that's your preference, is how you want to receive that, how you want to get that feedback option. There's a link to access a Microsoft survey there. And the next one there is the recommended troubleshooting. So this one gives you 4 options that you can set up when a problem is detected on your Windows device. The first option is fix problem for me without asking. So it will not ask your permission to fix the problem. Whenever a problem is detected, the system will automatically fix it for you, and it's not going to notify you. Or you can set it, tell me when problem get fixed, so it will fix the problem and then inform you when it's fixed. The next one there is ask me before fixing the problem, so the system will detect a problem and then it will ask for your permission to fix it. And the last one there is only fix the critical problem is for me. So that's the diagnostic and feedback option of the privacy setting. The last privacy option that we're going to look at is the activity history, and it's the most interesting one. So the activity history helps you keep track of things that you do on your device, such as apps, services that you use, files that you open, and the websites that you browse. So basically that's what everything that you do on your computer. And if you turn that option on, the system is going to track all your activity, and that's on by default unless you turn it off. So this is something that you might want to consider turning it off unless you use that. So this activity history is or this activity is locally stored on your system if you log on with a local user, and if you log on with Microsoft account, then it's stored on the cloud. So there's two options here. The first one says store my activity history on the device, so this is the local option, and the next option there is sending my activity history to Microsoft. So it gives you those two options. Either you can store it here or you can send it to Microsoft, store it on the cloud. And even if I don't choose that option, I log on with my Microsoft account, not local account, my activity history will still be on the cloud, because I'm logging on to a cloud account. That's the Microsoft cloud account that I'm logging on to my system. So notice how I don't have that option checked, and if I go to manage my activity data here, it says manage my Microsoft account activity data. If I click that, and log on, and here if I click my activity, the system is tracking my activity, so it's tracking where I am because my location service is on. It's tracking what applications that I'm using. Hopefully it's tracking what how I'm communicating with Cortana, what I'm asking to Cortana to find. It's tracking my search, what I'm searching online. It's tracking my browsing history. I'm not sure what's under media, but that's also, it's tracking my media location. And that's the one that we saw before. So that's what the activity history is. It's everything that you do on your computer is basically tracked if you have that option on, and it gives you an option to delete everything. So if I click clear this, so what you want, if you don't want that to happen, what you might want to do is log on with local account, don't use your Microsoft account, turn that off, and your activity history will be private. So I'm going to conclude this video here, and then I'm going to do another video about how to clear your activity data on the Microsoft Cloud account. Thank you for watching.